Good day, my friends and companions in the beautiful world of imagination. The Dawn Treader Stories presents A Night with the Genie, a tale of passion and eternity. The sun had barely set when Professor Evelyn Hartley wandered into the dimly lit antique shop in the heart of Marrakesh. She had been in Morocco for a literature conference, but her mind craved more than academic debates. She sought something different, something unexpected. The shop was cluttered with oddities, curiosities from centuries past, but her eyes were drawn to a small, ornate vial. Its delicate, golden etchings glittered under the lantern light, and she couldn't resist its mysterious pull. It wasn't the first time Evelyn found herself drawn to ancient things. A professor of English literature, she had spent most of her life exploring stories of the past, seeking beauty and passion through the words of others. Yet in all her studies of Shakespearean sonnets and romantic poets, she had never experienced the kind of passion she read about. Love had come and gone in her life, leaving nothing but quiet memories, but true, soul-stirring lust? That was something she had never known. As she fingered the delicate vial, she felt an inexplicable warmth. It was dusty, neglected, and she couldn't resist the urge to clean it. Rubbing the vial with a delicate cloth, the room suddenly filled with a thick, swirling mist. The air grew heavy, fragrant with the scent of spices and something darker, something forbidden. From the mist, a figure emerged. He was tall, with skin the color of warm bronze, and eyes that glowed with an otherworldly intensity. His muscles rippled beneath his loosely draped robes, his presence both animalistic and undeniably attractive. His chiseled jawline and the curve of his lips spoke of both danger and desire. Evelyn felt a shiver of heat run down her spine. For the first time in her life, she knew what it was to want. The genie, if that's what he was, smiled at her, and his voice, deep and rich, filled the room. "You have freed me," he said, his eyes glinting with amusement and hunger. "For this I will grant you two choices. You may wish for wealth, power, or anything your heart desires." Or his gaze lingered on her lips. "You may choose something else entirely." Evelyn's heart pounded in her chest. She could feel a fire building inside her, one that she had never felt before. She knew she should be rational, should ask for something practical, money, influence, perhaps even eternal knowledge. But none of that seemed important in the presence of this creature, this virile being who stood before her with a raw, primal energy that made her body ache in ways she hadn't realized were possible. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "I don't want wealth or power," she said, stepping closer to him. "I want you." The genie's smile widened, something dark and delicious flashing in his eyes. "As you wish." In the next instant, his hands were on her, and the world around them melted away. His touch was electric, sending waves of heat through her body. He started gently, his fingers tracing the contours of her face, her neck, as if memorizing every inch of her. But beneath the tenderness, there was a barely restrained hunger. Evelyn's breath hitched as he pulled her closer, his lips finally meeting hers. The kiss was slow at first, languid and exploratory, but soon it grew more urgent, more demanding. Her body responded instinctively, pressing against him as the fire inside her blazed to life. She had never felt anything like this deep, consuming need. The genie lifted her effortlessly, carrying her to the soft rug that lay on the floor. The room was bathed in golden light, and the shadows of their entwined bodies flickered on the walls as they gave into their mutual desire. His hands roamed her body, peeling away her clothes with deliberate precision. Each touch, each caress sent shockwaves of pleasure coursing through her. When their bodies finally joined, it was as if the universe itself had shifted. The connection between them was deep, primal, and pure. He moved with a powerful grace, his touch both tender and wild, as if trying to convey centuries of longing in a single night. Evelyn met his rhythm, her body arching into him as they moved together, their passions rising to an unstoppable crescendo. The night passed in a blur of pleasure and ecstasy. They made love again and again, sometimes with slow, deliberate tenderness, other times with wild, uninhibited passion. Each moment felt like it stretched into eternity, and by the time dawn's light began to creep through the window, Evelyn's body was spent, her mind lost in the haze of satisfaction. She lay in the genie's arms, her body still trembling from the intensity of their lovemaking. Her mind swirled with conflicting thoughts. She had experienced something beyond her wildest fantasies, something that had reawakened a part of her that she hadn't even known existed. But as the warmth of the genie's body pressed against hers, she knew the moment of decision had come. The genie turned to her, his voice soft yet full of emotion. You have given me more than I could ever have dreamed, he said, his fingers brushing her hair from her face. You freed me from my prison, and now you have freed my heart. I offer you more than just this night. I offer you eternity. Stay with me, Evelyn. 1,000 years and beyond together. Evelyn felt her heart clench. It was tempting, so tempting. To live with him, to never feel the weight of time, to experience passion beyond anything she could imagine for centuries. But there was a part of her, a small, nagging voice in the back of her mind, that wondered if she was truly ready to give up her life, her career, her world, for this. She lay there for a long while, feeling the genie's strong, steady heartbeat beneath her cheek. Finally, she lifted her head and met his gaze. I need to think, she whispered. Give me time. And time, it seemed, was exactly what he had to give. 1,000 years later. The world had changed in the 1,000 years since that night. Empires had risen and fallen, cities had grown and crumbled, and humanity had evolved in ways neither of them could have predicted. Yet here they were, still together. Evelyn and the genie are now her lover, her partner, her companion through the centuries. They sat on a mountaintop overlooking a vast, shimmering sea. The wind played in Evelyn's hair, and she sighed contentedly, leaning into the genie's warm embrace. The passion they had shared that first night had not waned, though it had evolved, deepening into something even more profound. They had experienced the rise of civilizations, witnessed the wonders of the world, and yet their love had remained a constant, a glowing ember that never dimmed. You made the right choice, the genie said, his voice soft and filled with affection. 1,000 years, and I am still as in love with you as the first night. Evelyn smiled, her heart swelling with warmth. I never doubted it, she replied, though the truth was, there had been moments when she had. She had wondered in the early days whether she had made a mistake. Whether she had given up too much. But as the centuries had passed, those doubts had faded. Together, they had lived a life that no human could ever imagine. And in the end, Evelyn knew she had chosen well. She had chosen love, and love, eternal and untamed, had chosen her in return.